Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Tuesday the 4th of September 2018 and we are revisiting a video we produced on the 7th of December 2016 entitled Financial Armageddon, the Final Day. We have many new subscribers since we produced that video and it's as relevant today as it was then. In fact, as we recall, the pumpers and doom merchants were predicting dollar collapse by the end of that year, then again in 2017, and now again in 2018. And what has happened? The US dollar has risen, and it has taken its toll on gold and silver prices. In fact, as we speak, gold has fallen below its support level of $1,200 and stands at $1,195. And silver has broken its $14.50 support level and stands at $14.31, while the dollar index has risen to 95.5. If these continue to uphold, then gold will rapidly fall to $11.50 and silver to $14. Let's see what the next few days will bring. A lot of economic news is to be announced this week, as we stated in our weekly roundup on Saturday. Meanwhile, back to the final day revisited. We're actually going to use the same soundtrack as we did in 2016, as frankly, apart from the volume level, we cannot improve upon it. So you may need to turn up your speakers when we move into that section. Meanwhile, what is different on this occasion is that we are putting forward a suggestion to prepare for that situation. It is a food stockpiling guide produced by author Dan Sullivan, and it highlights the do's and don'ts and what foods to purchase. He has also produced another guide called Autopilot Homestead, which has PDFs and videos all immediately downloadable, and frankly, we do not think anyone has covered this subject in such great depth and in such an easy to explain fashion. These cost somewhere between $32 and $39, and as always, on the basis of transparency, if you purchase them, this channel will receive a commission, which as always will be reinvested into this work. The links are shown both on screen and in the description below this video. So, if you do not believe that there will be a dollar collapse, ever, then by all means stop listening now and spend your time more productively. If, however, you think there is a possibility or a certainty of a dollar or financial collapse, then please continue to listen. The soundtrack is very much based upon hoping that you do not get what some people wish for. As a channel that ultimately believes that holding a certain amount of gold and silver is sensible from a wealth protection point of view, we hope to show that at least during the period of carnage which an economic collapse would result in, your gold and silver will be of little use at that time. And only providing you survive that carnage will it provide the wealth or protection you are now planning for. In other words, hide your gold and silver, tell no one about it, and prepare for the ensuing chaos by adopting additional measures. We hope you enjoy it, and by all means do comment. But please again forgive us if the volume is a little on the low side. Old mic, old system, unfortunately. And by the way, some of our original listeners said this is more impactful if you are sitting in a quiet, darkened room with a glass of bourbon in hand, but with no access to knives or guns, please. Well, here it is. We would like you, please, for a moment, to close your eyes and imagine the following. You wake up one morning and switch on the television. You see emblazoned across the screen, headline news: the US banking system has collapsed. JP Morgan has declared bankruptcy. Bank of America announces Chapter 11. Goldman Sachs has gone. Citigroup, Wells Fargo are no more. You look closer with excitement. The reporter shows a map of all the key banks across the world. HSBC, Barclays, BNP Paribas, Crédit Agricole, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, Société Générale, Bank of China, Royal Bank of Canada, Banco Santander, Mitsubishi Bank, UBS, Credit Suisse, Sberbank, Bank of Moscow, all closed. A mixture of glee and trepidation shimmers within you. Yes, you think no more banks. The bankers are gone. The world is saved. Then you pause a moment. Hold on. How will I get my money out of my bank? My wages have just gone in. I have to go to the shops this morning to purchase food and provisions. Don't worry, you say to yourself. I will write a cheque. Oh, I cannot. The banks are no more. Okay, I shall pay by card. Oh, I cannot. The banks are no more. Okay, I shall order online and do a bank transfer. Oh, I cannot. The banks are no more. You now begin to fret. Then another headline appears on the screen. Shops are being looted as people begin to realise that they too will not be able to purchase provisions as the financial system has collapsed. The government has declared martial law to prevent the looting. Troops are engaged. The police are in full riot gear. There is bloodshed on the streets. People are advised to stay at home and lock their doors. Another headline. World stock markets crashed to zero and are now closed. Dow Jones, 0. Nasdaq, 0. S&P 500, 0. FTSE 100, 0. DAX Index, 0. Hang Seng Index, 0. Nikkei, 0. And the list goes on and on. The gravity of the situation starts to dawn. You check your cupboards and you have enough food for a few days. Hold on, you think. If no one can obtain money, who is going to work? You see the lights shimmer a little. Another headline. The army is being used to keep power plants going as no employee has turned up. But the troops are stretched due to the rioting. It is estimated that there will be enough electricity and gas and water for a few days, or possibly just hours. You feel some perspiration running down your face. Your stomach churns. Your hands are clammy. What about my son, my daughter, my children, my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my grandparents? How are they going to cope? You have a brief respite. Oh, it's okay. I have some gold and silver to trade. But wait. What shall I trade it for? Everything is closed and martial law is declared. Everyone is in the same boat. You go back to the TV. You also browse the internet for the latest news. The situation is getting worse. The rioting has accelerated. The President and his cabinet have travelled to their underground bunkers. World leaders have left their parliaments and palaces and have travelled to their nuclear fallout shelters, from where they shall continue to control operations. What's this? Police lines are diminishing as they realise they won't be paid either. The army is withdrawing, troops deserting, as they have their own families to think about. There is now absolute carnage duplicated throughout the world. China, Russia, India, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, Holland, Australia, Canada, Mexico, Turkey, every country affected. Now you panic. What shall I do? Shall I go into the streets and steal whatever I can? Will it be safe? Will I get attacked? You hesitate and ask yourself, oh my God, how did we get here? How did this collapse start? There is a news update. President Trump makes a statement. He declares that the loss of confidence in the financial system was caused by enough people believing that the dollar was worthless, and this resulted in its sell-off. Computer trading exacerbated the problem, and the Chinese and other nations started selling its US debt. This exposed the bank's insolvency, and derivatives, debt instruments and currency swaps were all affected. Contagion throughout the world's banking system became rampant. Everything has crashed. President Trump admits from his bunker that there is no solution, and that each person now has to look after themselves. He warns, quote, "If you have food, gold, silver, or any other asset which can be used or traded, tell no one. You shall become a target. Answer the door to no one. You do not know who is on the other side or their purpose. I wish you Godspeed, and God bless America." The broadcast ends. The pit of your stomach feels as it never has before. Do you cry, shout, scream? You briefly reflect. I was one of those people calling for the end of the dollar. I always said that fiat was worthless, and I told everyone I knew. I heralded it from the rooftops. I produced YouTube videos. I agreed with Maloney and Kirby and Kaiser and Schiff. The names passed through my mind. Did I contribute to this? Is this my fault? Did I help wake up the world to the worthless paper? I was on a crusade. I thought I was doing good by proving the emperor had no clothes. I didn't think it could end like this, though. What have I done? You get what you wish for springs to mind. You hear screams outside. You peek through the curtains, ensuring no one sees you. There are rioters and looters in the street. In my street. Gunshots are heard. Suddenly, the lights go out. You are in darkness, as you dare not open the curtains or blinds. A sinister silence prevails. There is a knock at your door.